Hey guys, Natasha Tessier here, owner of Dwell Realty Design. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about what will happen and my predictions in the housing market in Houston in 2022. Hi there, I'm Natasha Tessier. I'm the owner of Dwell Realty Design by EXP. Welcome to my channel. I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button if you need to know anything and everything about moving to the city of Houston or even Texas. I have agents all over the state. I'd love to hook you up with one of the great agents that we have. Today, I wanted to talk about what is happening in the Houston housing market and some of my predictions. I'm not a pro by any means, but just some of the trends that I'm seeing, a lot of people asking questions. So I thought that would be a good way to update you. We're obviously in a seller's market like the rest of the country. I think one thing that holds different for us versus other areas is we still have a lot of inventory. There's about 15,000 active listings right now in the city of Houston. And I'm in a huge network with realtors all over the nation, and a lot of them do not have any listings to sell. We in Texas have a lot of land and a lot of space and a lot of new construction that I personally really feel like is holding our volume and our sales up because they make a lot of inventory homes. They're going to be ready May, June, July, August. And so that helps kind of eliminate some of that supply and demand that the rest of the country is seeing where there's no supply and a high demand. So we are still selling a ton of houses here. It is a seller's market for the most part. If a house is priced well, didn't flood, which most of them did not, and it's priced well and it's day one on the market, it's going to have multiple offers. You need to be prepared for that. And I will talk you through that. So we have 24% less houses on the market than last year, and we have about 1.5 months supply. So what does that mean? That means that if we sold all the houses that we have right now and we didn't list anymore, it would last about 1.5 months. That's our kind of supply and demand. That's kind of how they measure it. I do predict that we will continue to see the demand exceeding the supply all throughout the year, at least until August, maybe after that. Interest rates, it's kind of funny, at the beginning of the year, they predicted that they would go up to 3.5, 4. We are already seeing 5. So they're already jumping, and we'll talk about locking in those rates and talking to a lender and all that stuff. But that will help kind of lower the pool of buyers that can afford certain things, because your buying power gets less, obviously the higher the rates go. I mean, money becomes more expensive. So we are in multiple offer situations. I've won a lot for my clients. You really, no matter where you go, want to have a good team behind you, somebody who knows other agents, who sells a lot. Like if you're talking to an agent and you don't know anything about them, you can go on our HAR app and look at the map of the homes that they've sold and see if they've sold 3 homes or they've sold 200 homes, because that's important when it comes to negotiating. Do they know different things? There's so many things in a contract that you can do to make it more attractive. And I have won certain bids by simply just doing those extra little steps, not a letter and not things like that, just offering other things to the sellers that kind of put our offer over others. Now, it depends on area, and some areas I've seen up to 14 offers on a house, some I've seen 2. So it kind of just depends on the area. Okay, so number 2, let's talk about the sales. So first we kind of went over the market, the supply and demand issue. The next thing we want to talk about are the sales. So let's go back to 2019. We had an average of 7,900 sales per month. And then in 2020, we had an average of 8,715 sales per month. Then in 2021, last year, we had an average of 96 sales per month. So in 7 of those months in 2021, we had over 10,000 sales. We've never had that in the city of Houston. So that's pretty huge. And it's up 25% overall. So the amount of sales is up 25% overall. I do predict that the number of sales, like I said, will go up. They'll continue to go up through the summer. Usually in August, things slow, but so does the supply, because there's tons and tons of families here. A lot of people want to move before the school year. And so by August, when school starts, things tend to settle down. Although this past year, it settled down for like a month or so, and then it picked right back up. So it slows a little, but you also have a lot less to choose from in the fall because if they don't have to move for a job or something, they're not gonna take their kids out of school to move, if that makes sense. Okay, so then the third thing are prices. So I'm just gonna talk about the average prices. It is totally crazy what the increase. I think from last year, 1 year, we've seen 20% increase in prices here. And that is hurting some Texans and helping other Texans. It's kind of an interesting thing going on. But in 2019, I'm just gonna talk about the average high right now. And in 2019, that was 322,000. In 2020, it was 347,000. And in 2021, it was 383,000. So that's quite a jump in the average high. The median, like the middle price from 2019 went from 252, and then 2020 went to 273. Now in 2021, it was 314,000. Now, let me preface this. I don't sell a lot of homes for 300,000 anymore. It used to be that my low-end home, I could get people in a home for 150,000 here. It has changed. Now, it's still way more affordable. Like, you know, let's just say 4,500 square foot house with a pool. Yes, you can still be in the 900s or something like that. But to come here and buy a house under 300 is getting tough. It's doable, but you just have to, you know, it might be very small or small for Texans. So let me preface that too. Everything here is big. Like everybody says, well, I need at least 3 bedrooms. I've never sold a house less than 3 bedrooms. They are townhouses and stuff that only have 2, but 99.9% of the stuff that I sell, 100% of the stuff that I sell is at least 3 bedrooms. So when I say small, you know, 1,500 is on the small side. So if you're on our budget of 300, I think a lot of people think that they can get more than they can. And yes, it is more affordable, but it's becoming a little bit more competitive. And obviously the prices are going up. So you just have to be careful with that. The other thing I want to point out is land. I have so many people that come to me and they say, I want half an acre. I want an acre. Acreage is expensive here. 2 acres in Montgomery County just went for $310,000, just the acreage. So if you want an affordable house, you know, 300, you're gonna have to go on a smaller lot. If you want, you know, an acre or more, you're probably looking at a minimum of 500,000, unless it's just like a tiny little farmhouse somewhere. But it's just, the acreage makes your house go up quite a bit. So I do predict that the prices obviously will continue to rise. I don't see Texas having like a major falling out anytime soon or at all, just because the demand is so high, literally like, I don't know, the hundreds of thousands moving here every day. I do think it'll slow, and I think the rates will slow people down, although they haven't yet. They jumped to 5 and we are just still as busy. So I do think it'll slow over time. It can't go like this forever, but with the prices going up, if it were me, I would lock it in now rather than later. I mean, the people, well, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a client, they bought a house for $795. They were super worried that it was, you know, they weren't there very long and they were worried about it. And their house is now worth $950 a year later. So, you know, our values keep going up because people keep moving here. And it's obviously not going to increase at that rate, 20% every year, but I don't see them going down. It's always been kind of a 3 to 5% increase anyway. And now, you know, that's exaggerated. Okay. Yeah, obviously I do predict, I think that most places they're saying a 5% increase. I think it'll be a little bit higher here, but again, I don't think we'll hit the 20% increase, especially with the rates, which is the fourth thing I want to talk about are the rates. So rates at the beginning of the year, they predicted that they would be 3.5% to 4%. My lender just told me that they're pushing over 5 right now. Today is like end of March. So hopefully that goes back down, but if you're thinking of moving, you really want to reach out to a lender. I have several local lenders that I love, and I can definitely refer you to them. I don't get any kickbacks or anything from that, but I know that they will work with you. You want to talk to them about, you know, rate locks and float down policies. Some of them can lock a rate for 30 or 60 days, which may help you if they, you know, if you're watching it and they dip back down. And then a float down policy, one of my lenders was just telling me that they instituted this where if some lenders, when you go lock in, if the rate drops, you're still locked in. Let's say you lock in at 4.5 and then the rate drops to 4.25, you're still at 4.5. Other lenders will allow you to float that rate down to the current rate. So that's really something important to look at. Again, if you need lender numbers, I'm happy to share them. Just reach out to me. But I think as those rates go up, it'll shrink our buyer pool. So anyway, those are some of my predictions. Again, I'm not a, not an analyst on the market, but I do see it every single day. I sell houses every single day. And you do want to make sure you have a good, strong team behind you, somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who can try to win that bidding war on your behalf. If you're in the low 300s to 400s and you do not have the money to cover the gap on an appraisal waiver, I would go new construction. I am doing new construction all the time. It's $1,000 down on some of them, or $5,000. Most of them are locking the price, and it's just an easy way not to get into a bidding war. And so when we do new construction, we help you go through the building process. We try to take videos for you while you're out of town and kind of keep you aware of what's going on. So that may help too. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over my predictions in the Houston housing market. It's up and down and crazy, but overall, it's been a really good, steady climb for all of us. And I think it will continue at least throughout the summer. So if you need any help, please reach out to me. My Google form is below. You can fill it out, and please book a spot on my calendar. And then that way we can kind of Zoom, set up your time frame and how we are able to help you. I hope that this helps, and I hope you have a blessed day.